Hey, what's going on, everybody? Chris Ballard here with Ballard Sports Media, coming at you live here Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, like I normally do, with the one and only Uncle Lou, who I sent the link to. I did the morning show news this morning, and he said he was good for the show. I haven't heard back from him as far as like whether or not he got the link, but the show starts at 3, so. Yeah, we're gonna, I guess, go ahead and get it started, and if he joins in, then great. If not, then that's okay. Or he's in the comments here. What's up, Uncle Luke? Yeah. We got it. Yeah. Good morning.
No.
Yeah. We got it. What's up, Luke?
No.
Yeah. Good morning.
No.
Turn the volume down on the
No.
video feed or whatever.
No.
Yes.
No.
Anyway, so
No.
we got in 1 week the first annual Slob Olympics. Next Friday it starts. But if I recall, Lou, the actual Olympics are going to start on Saturday. Is that correct?
Yeah, Friday night is just a reception. The competitions themselves taking place on Saturday.
Awesome. And yeah, I've been looking forward to it. I mean, I keep saying that I probably won't go this year, but I'll definitely try to make a attempt to go at some point in the future. But I'll definitely, I know, I'm sure you or BVD or whoever will be live streaming. I'll definitely keep an eye out and try to watch it. But what exactly, like, what event are you most looking forward to in that?
Most of the events that I'm looking forward to involve, like, I'm looking forward to it because I'm excited to see someone else do it.
Yeah.
Like Chess Hall run the 40.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. Several people attempt a spelling bee, and yeah, you test too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it's gonna definitely be interesting. I keep mentioning that obviously you mentioned Chess Hall running the 40. I think we're all looking forward to seeing that. I really want to see him versus BVD in that, and then man, the spelling bee. I don't know, man. I don't know who I think's gonna win that, but brain and intelligence will be tested at that event, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the spelling bee, it's kind of a crapshoot to a certain degree because, you know, if you're familiar with a word, it may be easier to spell it. You know, if you get a word that you've never heard before, or something that's harder to spell. So, I mean, you could have some of the people that people would consider quote unquote smart go out early in the spelling bee if they happen to draw a difficult word, whereas you could have some of the people who maybe people don't expect much of them out of the spelling bee could go pretty far if they get a series of easy words. You don't really know what you're going to get.
Right.
The IQ test is more of an even playing field because everyone takes the exact same IQ test. You know, spelling bees are inherently not equal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because you don't have everybody spelling the same word. I spell a word, and then whoever's next has to spell a different word, and then a different word, and then a different word. And I might think a word is easy, and the guy right next to me might think the word is hard. You never know. So
yeah,
that'll be interesting to see how that goes. And then some of the events, I mean, it's impossible to. I mean, how do you try to figure out who's going to win paper, rock, scissors? I mean, it's pure luck.
Right. It's literally pick one of them and see what happens.
Right. Yeah, it's like flipping a coin or playing
It's
guess
like
which
a
number.
1 in 3 chance.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
so
I mean, the competitions are interesting, and I know that's what everybody wants to talk about. But we're gonna have fun up there for the whole weekend. I mean, whoever loses, if you lose an event, I'm sure you're gonna get ragged on by the people that are there, and then later people in comment sections and stuff like that. If you come in last overall, you're gonna get ragged on, I'm sure. But it's mostly just an excuse to go hang out for the weekend. No matter what place anybody comes in, I think everybody's going to have a good time.
oh yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, I'm again, I you know won't be able to go this year, but definitely will be training and looking forward to maybe the second annual Slob Olympics. And I would assume maybe you would like to have maybe the same events. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, I'll be training like a slob.
Yeah, well, as far as the second one goes, I mean, once we get through this first one, we'll learn a lot from doing this first one. Some of the events we'll do, and it'll be a mess or too hard to figure out, or oh, this took too long, or so I doubt it'll be exactly the same the second year. There'll probably be like the 40-yard dash, like that'll probably always be a thing because I mean
Yeah,
that's just like the most obvious one to do.
that's basically running,
Right.
or a
Yeah.
sprint type thing,
So
whatever.
I'm sure there'll be some events that get carried over to the following year, but I'm sure some will decide for whatever reason not to do it again.
Yeah, let's see who's in the chat here. We got Selene Driver. He says all you odds makers are guilty of age discrimination.
Uh, that's fake news. Chess Hall is picked to finish last in almost every single odds, and
He's like 24.
think
Yeah,
he's the youngest competitor.
yeah. Sea Dog, Matt Kay, Shannon
That's fake
Mitchell,
news. Celine with more fake news.
Lenny the Gump, Adam Beasley. Thanks everyone for showing up today. We appreciate it also in too. So, but yeah, the Slav Olympics should be really interesting. And then there's been some transfer portal stuff. Isn't that always the case? I guess you know take that off there. So we've seen some transfer portal news. At least I have quite a few quarterbacks in there from no name schools that we really don't care where they go. I mean, some 3 stars like Keon Howard's going from Tulane to somewhere. Cade Renfro from Ole Miss to wherever the heck. Um, James Blackman's a pro style quarterback. He went from Florida State to Arkansas State. Kasem Hill went from Tennessee to Rhode Island. Isn't pretty much everyone transferring from Tennessee trying to get the heck out of there at this point?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have a combination of factors. You got kids that are there that were recruited under Jeremy Pruitt. He's gone, so you don't know what that means in terms of your playing time or pecking order on the team now under a new administration. So you see that a lot. You get a new coach in, you tend to see more transfers out anytime a school gets a new coach in. Take Georgia Tech for example. I mean, this is an extreme example, but you're at Georgia Tech because you're an option quarterback. They fire Paul Johnson and bring in Jeff Collins. Why would you stay at Georgia Tech? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you see some of that anytime there's a coaching change. But I think you also have just kind of the negative publicity that's around Tennessee right now with the recruiting violations and the impending doom that's kind of hanging over the program. I think even if Pruitt would have stayed, you would have seen some level of attrition there in terms of the transfer portal, kids looking to get out before the NCAA brings the hammer down, things like that. Those two things combined have obviously made Tennessee the worst. I mean, they have 25 players in the portal. I'm not exaggerating. I mean, that's the actual number.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you think about it, that's more than a third of their returning scholarship players.
Yeah.
Because the seniors are gone, so they couldn't have come back anyway. Well, forget the whole coronavirus extra year thing. The seniors were gone, That leaves you with last year's freshmen, sophomore, and juniors, about 75 of those, give or take, and 25 of them are leaving. Put you in a situation where you're down to about 50 scholarship players. You sign 25 in this recruiting class. Tennessee's not going to have 85 scholarship players next year, I don't think, in my opinion, unless they really go into the transfer portal hard. But again, even if they do that, they're not going to be getting the top tier of what's even available in the transfer portal. And let's get one thing clear here too. Joe Burrow and Justin Fields are exceptions to the rule.
Yes.
There's not a Heisman candidate in the transfer portal every year. There's not.
Right.
Generally,
it's super rare.
Generally, a kid is in the transfer portal because he's not good enough to play at the school he's at. I know there's exceptions. Kids don't like an environment, whatever the case. Georgia's had a couple of these guys, right? Brenton Cox. He's not a bad player. He just wanted out of Athens. The reasons are irrelevant. Tyreek Stevenson this year probably would have started at Georgia this year. Wanted out. He's gone. So, but those guys aren't. I mean, those aren't all Americans.
Right.
The whole, we're going to go into the transfer portal and get the next Joe Burrow. Could it happen? Yeah. But is it likely on at any given time? No. You're typically getting, most people in the transfer portal are Tate Martell, not Joe Burrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think he's in the transfer portal again. N'Kosi Perry. I mean, how many quarterbacks from Miami have entered the transfer portal? 2?
Almost all of them.
I mean, I don't know what's going on down there. I better get off of that. I went off on Miami on Mark Rogers' show yesterday. Shout out to Mark Rogers, by the way. He had me on yesterday at noon. If you guys didn't see that, you can go back and watch it. That was a lot of fun.
I caught some of it, yeah. It seemed like it was a pretty good show there. So there's some names that stick out here. You remember Jake Bentley at South Carolina like 5 years ago?
Well, yeah,
he transferred to Utah?
It wasn't 5 years ago. It was 2 years ago, but yeah.
Well, still, it feels like it. He's now transferring to South Alabama.
Right.
So he's transferring again.
He just lives in a transfer portal. You need to get some guys that do this. And,
Chase Bryce was at Clemson. He's now transferring. Yeah.
As much as I'm in favor of a kid's ability to transfer, and, I've been saying for a long time now, I think if a kid wants to transfer, he shouldn't need any permission from anybody. He just, just be able to go, no sitting out, no waiting, no having to submit some kind of appeal to the NCAA and get a waiver and all this. I don't believe in any of that. You want to transfer, pack your bags and go anywhere you want within the conference, within the same division. Doesn't matter. I think they should be able to do it once. You do it a second time, you sit out a year, period. No questions asked. I don't care. Coach gets fired, NCAA investigations, you get benched. Someone was mean to you, whatever. Doesn't matter. You had your
cookie.
You used it. Now you transfer again. Now you got to sit out a year, period. I think fairest way to fix it. I understand the coach's concern about college football turning into free agency. I don't want that either. At the same time, you can't force a kid to stay at a school. You just can't.
Right.
What coach wants to play a player who doesn't want to play? I mean, who would do that? We had a situation last year where Georgia signed what's that knucklehead running back's name that ended up at TCU? Zach Evans. One running back in the class, and then all of a sudden nobody wanted him. Guy's a knucklehead, punched his high school coach, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Kicked off his high school team right the night before the state championship game. I mean, just a problem case. Doesn't mean he can't get himself turned around. I mean, it happens all the time. But he had committed to Georgia and signed with Georgia during the early signing period. And for whatever reason, either he wanted out or Georgia wanted him out. We may never know the truth, but let's say he wanted out of his letter of intent. Well, Georgia doesn't have to let him out. Once you sign that letter of intent, you're obligated to that school for the next year. But why would Georgia force a kid to come there and play that doesn't want to be there?
Right.
What I mean, and then what? You put this guy out there and he goes out there and lays the ball on the ground every time, on purpose, or I don't know that would ever happen. But the point is, if the kid doesn't want to be somewhere, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me to force him to stay there. So getting back to the transfer thing, you hear, and this too, the transfer portal is ruining college football. The transfer portal is a website. That's all it is.
Yeah.
The transfer portal is not doing anything to college football.
All it shows is
A list
who's
of names.
trying to transfer.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a misconception that the transfer portal has ruined college football. No, the transfer portal is nothing but a website with a list of kids' names on it. That's all it is.
Right.
Now, are there more kids wanting to transfer now than ever before? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't blame that on the transfer portal though. That's just that's unfortunately that's the mindset a lot of these kids have nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You
They
know,
want to play.
used to be unheard of for any freshman to play at all, ever, anywhere. I mean, it used to never happen.
Right.
And slowly over time, and there's lots of reasons for that. Kids are more developed and ready to play now coming out of high school. You got all these camps, and you got kids who basically in 7th and 8th grade start preparing for their college career. So there's a lot of reasons why a freshman might be more prepared to play now than he ever was before. But I mean, it wasn't until very recently that a redshirt freshman even won the Heisman for the first time. I mean, that used to didn't even get considered. If Herschel Walker was playing right now, he'd have 3 Heismans.
Oh yeah, he would.
And that's no, I'm not. George Rogers was a great player. He's no Herschel Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't for the fact that there was no rule against freshmen winning it, but the point is, freshmen used to be more than willing to wait or not get upset that they didn't win the Heisman as a freshman. It's just not the case anymore. These kids show up now, some of them anyway, and they're looking to play right now. And if it looks like they're not, then they look to get out. And so
I'm curious.
Frustration with that. But the way things are trending with college football right now, with the pressure to pay the kids, and they're going to fight that as long as they can, which means they have to give in on some of the smaller things, like some of these transfer rules. You can't transfer within your same conference without your current school's permission. That's ridiculous.
We've only had the transfer portal since 2018.
Yeah,
I thought it'd been longer than that, but yeah. I was gonna say, I'm curious. I'm sure if it was like the 60s or something, and an athlete's not playing when he probably should be playing or wants to be playing, there wasn't a transfer portal. I don't really know the whole process back then.
It was just paperwork. You just notified the NCAA. It was just paperwork, and then you were Alabama and you needed a left tackle. Mm-hmm. You wanted to know who was transferring. You contacted the NCAA, and they sent you a list of who had submitted transfer paperwork.
Yeah, and you go get a guy from like Georgia, Florida, or wherever,
Right. I mean, but it's modern times happened. Mm-hmm. Finally, somebody goes, "Oh, you know what? There's this thing called the internet. Instead of all this filling paperwork back and forth, why don't we just put this list online?" So, that's all that was. But
we just signed 5-star QB Ty Simpson from the Voltard. I missed that news. He probably, I don't know, man. Bryce Young's got 3 years or so at Bama here coming up, and
wait a minute.
I guess 2, but
wait. Who?
Bryce Young. I just said.
No.
Or are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Oh, Ty Simpson. Literally just happened. 5-star for 2022.
Oh, I thought he said he transferred from Tennessee.
I guess he's saying that he flipped from Tennessee. He signed. Yeah, we signed a 5-star. Okay. He didn't transfer.
You can't sign a 2022 kid. It's illegal. It's impossible.
Yeah, a 2022 recruit has entered the transfer portal.
You can't. I don't understand what he. Does he mean that some high school quarterback somewhere has committed to Alabama? Is that what he's trying?
Committed. Yeah, committed is what he's trying to say. We haven't signed him yet. That's right.
You can't sign him.
Right. But you can have them commit, and they could say, "Hey, I know it's a couple years away, but this is where I want to go."
Commit in 5th grade, and then they can decommit tomorrow. Commitment means nothing.
Right. Yeah. It's just saying this is where I plan on going as of right now.
Right. They can't sign until December.
Yeah.
Is he from the state of Tennessee or something? I don't understand the whole. We signed him from the Voltard. I'm not sure what he means.
Voltard country, so I guess he is in the state of Tennessee or whatever. It was between Clemson and Bama. He didn't decommit. Oh, okay. So he's from Tennessee. He didn't decommit from the Volunteers, but he did. I guess Lenny's saying that he narrowed it down between Bama and Clemson. Which you see that a lot too. I mean, there's not really a whole lot of good recruits in the recruits in the.
Looked him up. He's from Tennessee. He was never committed there.
Right. And you see that a lot in certain states like Tennessee, where it's like they're not going to commit in state. Heck, I mean, even guys in Florida's a recruiting hotspot, and they commit to Georgia, Clemson, all the big name programs all the time. Not even an in-state school they're going to try to sign with or whatever, but I bet you that guy is probably really close to Knoxville, and he saw what was going on, and he said, "You know what? I got to get the heck out of here."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to be what it is. Can I be on the Unprofessional Sports Show tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time? I don't know.
Who's asking?
Chess Hall.
Oh. Oh, via text message. Okay. I didn't see that comment. I was trying to see where he asked that, but I mean, yeah. I saw, and again, it hasn't actually been confirmed, but I've heard some rumors that Paul Tyson's like trying to get out of Tuscaloosa, which I've seen. He actually looks like a really good recruit and looked great in high school. That doesn't mean he's going to do great on the next level, but Bryce Young's going to start for Bama. Paul Tyson's going to transfer somewhere. I guess we'll have whoever we got this year. I think that Milroe or whoever. But has Georgia lost any, other than, I guess, DeJuan Mathis to Temple, have they really lost anybody lately?
What, in the transfer portal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said Tyreek Stevenson to Miami.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Really, really didn't have a whole lot planned for today. I mean, we got the NFL draft coming up in a couple months or so. And I guess, like, I would assume if they follow the right protocols and stuff, maybe we actually get the combine or whatever.
No,
I mean, obviously
there is no combine.
Oh, there's not?
No, they have been canceled out.
Hmm.
Colleges are having pro days. That's it. So congratulations to all these nitwits that sat out the 2020 season preparing
for what? I mean, for nothing, basically.
combine.
I mean,
now there's not one. Maybe a few of them won't get drafted.
Well, I mean, combine, you go to the combine, that's where they measure the players and everything, and the 40 and cone drills and all that. I mean, that's like basically you do all the measurements and the tests and everything, and that's what everyone's looking at is not only how you did in college or whatever, but how did you handle the combine? And I guess without that, I mean, some of these prospects are going to be screwed.
I mean, I think the combine. I think the combine was way more important 20 years ago than it is now. Not that it doesn't matter at all, but really now I think all the combine does now is maybe help a team separate. Whether a guy should be drafted 8th overall or 12th overall.
Right.
There's not very many people who go into the combine with a 5th round grade who come out of the combine with a 1st round grade. It does. You do have some movement on occasion. Like, guy will show up and he's just some kind of a freak or whatever, and they measure his hands and his wingspan. But I mean, they can do all that at a pro day if they want to.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
The,
yeah.
the only difference is instead of 500 college kids all going to Indianapolis, now all these GMs and personnel scouts and head coaches have to go to all these different schools.
Yeah.
It does make it harder because a lot of these pro days are going to end up being on the same day, and a head coach can only be in one place at a time. So, but it's not like it's the head coach. They got dozens of people they can send around these NFL teams. They got dozens of people they can send around.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like I know Trevor Lawrence had his pro day a couple weeks ago, and I think I saw where maybe Urban Meyer and the Jaguars were showing up to watch him, which doesn't surprise me. They hold the number one pick, and even if they didn't show up, I mean, would you really pass on Trevor Lawrence for really anybody in this draft? I really don't think you would. But I mean, that's what you're seeing this year, and maybe this is like kind of the future going forward. Is you'll see um, players want to have like their own workout drills at the schools or something, and just have coaches or whoever just I guess come and watch them there instead of just going all the way out to Indianapolis or wherever for the combine. I mean, which I really don't care how they do it. I mean, just I've always enjoyed the combine just to see stats and see how fast a player could run. You know, measurements and everything like that. It's always cool to see how a player's built. But
I like watching it too. Yeah, I like watching it too. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that nowadays, I don't think the combine is going away.
Right.
But I do think there's other ways for this year that coaches can measure these things when it comes to the kids instead of getting everybody together like that. It doesn't really matter what we think about coronavirus or anything like that. No NFL team wants to have all these people crowded into the same place like that, and somebody gets coronavirus or whatever. They don't want to deal with it. So
yeah, I get that. I mean, it's and you have multiple players in years past at the combine. It wasn't like, okay, here's an offensive tackle. Let's see what he. I mean, he's got players around him too in line, just waiting for the 40 or the cone or whatever the heck. And I mean, with COVID and everything, you can't have a whole lot of players, I guess together for stuff like that. So,
I mean, it just seems like an unnecessary risk to take when we're this close to getting back to normal. Why would you crowd all these people in the same place when you can? I mean,
right? It's not time yet.
Right. You can send a coach or an assistant or a personnel guy or a scout or whatever the case to Alabama if you really want to watch Mac Jones throw a football.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really want to know, if you really want to measure his hands, you can do that. You can go there and do that.
Right.
That's why they made that decision.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't blame them.
Do what?
I don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, there's just the combine's really just the thing, and I'm not going to put it down. I love watching it, but it's basically just it's a bunch of tests to see how great a player is. Right. Whereas, I mean, why can't they just watch the film from when they played in college and then,
Well, it's the measurements that they look at. Like, and in it, like to an NFL team, if the film shows that two corners are basically equal, it matters to that NFL team if one of them's wingspan is 6 inches longer.
Right.
I mean, they're not choosing between a Snickers and a Kit Kat here. I mean, there's millions of dollars on the line, and to the NFL, all this stuff matters. Now, there's exceptions to every rule. I mean, Tyreek Hill's an amazing receiver. Doesn't seem to matter how tall he is, but generally speaking,
yeah,
there's a reason the NFL does the shuttle drill. There's a reason they want to know how many bench reps an offensive guard can do. There's a reason they want to know the hand size of a quarterback. You know, all that stuff they can use to separate out. You know,
Right. It's like to basically, like, I guess, help coaches or whatever, because I mean they're going to look at the film and everything. So like the measurements and stuff, you know, because it's not just what you see them do in a game. You know, you need more stuff like the measurements and everything, like you were talking about. You know, like, okay, what separates this quarterback from this quarterback? They're both in the first round. They both got great arms. You know, what is it that truly separates, you know, Fields from Zach Wilson? I'll put it like that in terms, because there's a lot of rumors like Zach Wilson's going to go ahead of Justin Fields, which Wilson's great, but I'm myself and still trying to figure out, why isn't Fields the second quarterback taken off the board this year? I just don't understand that. No disrespect to Zach Wilson from BYU, he was great, but you know, I guess they see something in him that maybe they don't see in Justin Fields.
well, I mean, there's no guarantees when it comes to anybody you draft. I mean, Trevor Lawrence could, for whatever reason, never complete a pass in the NFL. I mean, no one expects it to happen, but I mean, you just don't know. So if you have a team and they need whatever position it is, in this case, quarterback, there's 32 NFL teams. Some of them run similar offenses to each other. Some of them run totally different offenses. They're all going to have different opinions of, you know, where a kid should be drafted. I doubt all 32 NFL teams agree on the order that the quarterback should be drafted in. You know, there's probably an NFL team somewhere. It's not the Jaguars. There's probably an NFL team somewhere that would pass on Trevor Lawrence first.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, look at some of these teams with just their history of terrible draft pick. You know, I don't know but so I'm not surprised that there may be a team that thinks Zach Smith or Trey Lance or anybody else should be drafted ahead of Justin Fields or Mac Jones or Kyle Trask or none, that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, I think there's 5 first-round quarterbacks, and then the debate is over, you know, the order that they should be drafted in. And then a lot of times you'll have a team and maybe they have the second pick, and they may want Justin Fields at 2.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I made a video. I remember.
But then they look behind them in the draft and they go, you know what? The third team ain't taking a quarterback. The 4th team ain't taking a quarterback. And the 5th team likes Zach Wilson. So a lot of times the 2 team will trade back in the draft, pick up an extra draft pick down the road because they think they can still get the guy they like at 2 at 8 or 10 or 11. So there's just so much that goes into it. And then you have a lot of misinformation when it comes to the draft too. Like, I don't know. Let's say whoever has the 7th pick absolutely loves Justin Fields. Well, they'll start putting a bunch of disinformation that Justin Fields ain't no good and Justin Fields can't do this and Justin Fields can't do that, hoping it'll scare off the teams ahead of them from drafting him, and then they show up and draft him, you know. So
yeah,
I really know.
I remember I made a video. I got a whole playlist of anything related to this year's draft, because there's a lot to go into it. You know, I'm doing like player profiles, looking at players, what are teams going to get out of players and all that. But one of the first ones I did, I looked at Fields versus Lawrence, because that's who it was for quarterbacks. Mac Jones wasn't in the conversation. Zach Wilson from BYU wasn't in the Trey Lance. It was Fields or it was Lawrence. And I said, and it was basically, would anybody take Fields over Trevor Lawrence? Because they're both great. And I said, I think Trevor Lawrence has a better arm. I think he's a better talent in general. But maybe if Fields has that kind of year, maybe he could go ahead. I don't think that's going to happen. I feel like Trevor Lawrence is just that guy. And yes, Fields had a better year, but that doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't mean much.
No, you can't. No. And the NFL could care less that Mac Jones threw for more yards than Trevor Lawrence. That
Right.
means nothing to the NFL.
Yeah. Then again, I mean, it's
All
what
I
are we getting
if I needed
overall?
a quarterback and I could get any of them, I would take Trevor Lawrence. I wouldn't have to think about it at all.
Right. It's not even
Anything
a
past
debate.
that, I would really have to. I would really have to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's reasons and explanations to think that Justin Fields is better than Zach Wilson, and I'm sure there's reasons and explanations to like Zach Wilson better than Justin Fields. You know,
Yeah.
um, I don't. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't know that much about Zach Wilson other than his numbers. I don't know how tall he is. Is he 5'10" or is he 6'2"? Does that matter?
Oh shoot.
Does he run a 4.4 40 or a 4.8 40? Because that can matter. But I don't know any of those things about Zach Wilson. Now the NFL does. And if a team likes Zach Wilson over Justin Fields, then you just have to assume that there's a reason behind it, whether it's they like his arm strength better, or whether it's they like his vision better, or whether it's because he fits the style of offense they run better, you know, whatever the case may be. You there? Ballard. Hell happened to Ballard? Ballard. I'm going to click off of here. Jesus, Ballard. Fields threw more INTs than Lawrence in 2 less games. Yep. And the year before, Lawrence threw more interceptions than Fields. Neither one of them throws very many interceptions. Justin Fields had a higher completion percentage than Trevor Lawrence too. You can't. I mean, you can't cherry pick one stat to try to prove a point. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is I think, a better NFL quarterback than Justin Fields. I'm not trying to make that argument, but trying to prove that by saying that Justin Fields threw whatever you said, 2 more interceptions or something, that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to give Ballard another couple of minutes, and I'm going to click off of here. I don't know what happened to him. You want me to call him? Here, I'll hook the phone thing up and call him.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
That damn Ballard. I mean, I don't know what could have happened so quick. That he couldn't even provide an explanation, Leaves me stuck on his little internet show here. I have no idea. No idea where he went. It sounded like he said, oh, and then that was it. But this is pretty unacceptable, though. This is pretty unacceptable. Ballard's mom got him about his grades. He's not even in school right now. I doubt it was his grades. Maybe that poster fell off his wall. That would be an emergency. Mike Vick, what's up, buddy? Better rename the show Turnover on Downs. I can't even do anything with the StreamYard. I don't know what could have happened to him.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated.
Now he done turned his phone off. I'm doing my own monster truck football league on the next NFL season. I don't have any idea what that means. I can't drop the link. How can I drop the link? I don't have the link. Oh, I guess I do have the link, but no, I'm not doing that. Bye, Nick. We don't know where Ballard went. He made some kind of weird noise and then he disappeared. Morning show replay got removed. If it got removed, it would have been for copyrighted music. Nothing I can do about that. Where did ND Sean 45 go? I have no idea. Did he go somewhere? I don't know. I didn't know he went anywhere. So I definitely don't know where he went. That's what it sounded like, C Dog, but I know he doesn't cuss, but it did sound like that. No, Nick. Just keep making more accounts. I've already called Ballard twice. It went straight to voicemail. But yeah, it did sound like he said, oh shit, but I doubt that's what he said. Hell, I don't know. Maybe he did. Let's rewind the tape.
Go definitely. I know you are trying to watch. What exactly? Like what have that?
I'm looking forward to see someone.
Yeah.
Like chess on 40.
Yeah.
See, I'm excited to see several people attempt a spelling bee. I don't have any. And you just have to assume that there's a reason. You there? Just to think that Justin Fields, that Mac Jones threw for more yards than Trevor Lawrence. That
Right.
means nothing to the NFL. Here we go. See what he says.
Yeah. Then again, I mean, it's
all.
What are we getting overall?
I needed a quarterback, and I could get any of them. I would take Trevor Lawrence. I wouldn't have to think about it at all.
Right. It's not even a debate.
That, I would really have to. I would really have to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's reasons and explanations to think that Justin Fields is better than Zach Wilson, and I'm sure there's reasons and explanations to like Zach Wilson better than Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't know that much about Zach Wilson other than his numbers. I don't know how tall he is. Is he 5'10" or is he 6'2"? Does that matter?
Oh shoot!
Does he run a 4.44? I think he said shoot. It sounded like he said shoot. Let's try it one more time. I don't. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't know that much about Zach Wilson other than his numbers. I don't know how tall he is. Is he 5'10" or is he 6'2"? Does that matter?
Oh shoot!
Does he run a 4.4 40 or a 4.8 40? Because that can matter. Yeah, I think it was oh shoot. It would have been hilarious if it was oh shit. I would have screen recorded it and made a thing out of it. That really would have irritated him. But I don't know. I mean, I hope he's alive, I guess. I don't know. You don't want to answer the phone for whatever reason. At least it's ringing now. Maybe he doesn't come to his senses. Let's see.
Hey.
Yeah, what are you doing?
My phone died. I was charging it up. My computer's been dead. We're just having a bunch of weird internet problems. I don't know.
Your computer's dead or the internet's not working?
Well, the computer's dead. My brother stole the charger because he can't just get his own.
Oh, I got you. So,
yeah.
So you started the show with a dead phone and a dead computer.
Yes, and I was using my phone and it was going good, but StreamYard really kills it. But
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, you're live on the air right now if you wanted to say anything to the people.
Yeah. You got?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, sorry about all that.
That was alarming. We thought something happened. We had to rewind the tape. It sounded like you said, oh, shit. But we rewinded the tape and it was, oh, shoot.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, you said, oh, shoot. But it did sound like, oh, shit initially. So we had to rewind the tape and listen to it. But no, it was, oh, shoot, though.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. K5 thought maybe your lamp caught fire, he says. That would have been a disaster.
Yeah, it would have been.
If your house was burning down and you could only save one thing between the poster and the lamp, which would it be?
What were you? What was the question?
If your house was burning down and you could only save one item, what would it be between the poster and the lamp?
I could always buy a new lamp. That poster took so long to get here, man. I'm saving the poster.
I like that. I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Oh, son of a.
Uh-oh. Is he gone again? Damn, he's gone again. Instead of the oh shoot, this time we got son of a. Boy, he's getting closer and closer to Did y'all hear what he said when he called in? I guess his laptop is dead and his phone is dead, so he really doesn't have a way of doing the stream. His brother stole his charger. So when his phone died the first time, he probably went and yelled at his brother, didn't he? Isn't that what y'all think happened? I bet he went and yelled at his brother. Y'all think that's what he did? I bet he went and yelled at his brother for stealing his charger. I bet you that's what happened. Boy, his poor brother. His poor brother's getting it right now. All right, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Sorry it didn't work out today as far as the show goes, but I tried. I'm sick as a dog, too. I feel like an idiot, too. I've been telling everybody for the last couple of weeks. I was like, my entire family keeps getting sick, and I don't ever get it. And that's true. I usually don't. But over the last 2 weeks, everybody in this household has been sick twice. And I haven't gotten sick yet, but it started last night during the phone call stream. I couldn't stop coughing, and then I had a hard time sleeping last night, and I woke up this morning and my throat's all sore. So I'm fixing to head inside, take me a hot shower, eat me some soup or something for dinner, guzzle a bottle of Dimetap, and I should be good by tomorrow. So on behalf of Ballard Sports Media, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Hopefully Ballard will be more prepared next time. If you're going to do an internet show, you got to have a computer or a phone that's charged up and ready to go. I'm assuming the stream is going to keep going even when I get out of here. Damn. Angel, you got hidden that time and nobody even saw what you typed. Damn. Ain't that something? Type. Type. All right. I'll see y'all later. Have a good morning.
We'll get back in here. Hold on. Stupid technology. Hey, technology. You know what you can do?
Suck it.
Yeah. I'm just going to end the show. Something's going on with it. I don't know. And it looks like Lou left. Appreciate you guys showing up, though. Love you guys. And, yeah. Go ahead and end the show. We'll probably pick it up next week or week after, whenever. I don't know. Don't end it. Well, I mean, look, I got to charge my phone up and everything. So. Yeah. We'll see you guys.